right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Discipline Debbie podcast. I'm your host, El Discipline. Alongside me is your other host, Suhe Sotomayor. We also have a returning in-studio guest, Tamika. How you doing?
Chilling.
Thank you for making time.
Yes. Anytime.
Have you missed us?
I did.
Tired?
I did.
How are you feeling? Tired?
I'm refreshed. I'm chilling. I
energetic?
slept last
Okay.
night.
Me
No
too.
You, me too. So you guys don't sleep?
No, but
I don't.
You keep waking up?
Lies.
No, I'm always at work.
Oh, see, I just keep waking up.
Lies. Like you gotta sleep, even if it's for like 2 hours, 3 hours.
I actually was up for 36 hours straight.
Last night?
How is that humanly possible?
Well, because I woke up on Thursday and I went to work, and then my kids had sports, and then after that I had to go to my night job.
Damn.
And I had to do mom life.
You don't take a nap at the job?
No.
Oh, see, I do.
I can't do that.
I work overnight, so on my break, I sleep.
What did you do after 36 hours? Crash?
Mm-hmm.
How long did you sleep for?
From like 9:30 until what time? Probably like 8 this morning.
9:30 p.m. to 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a nice long time.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll go home and relax after.
Well, I think maybe this time around, how do you feel? Nervous?
I feel relaxed.
Okay.
Chilling.
Good. All right, we're going to get into an interesting topic, but before we do that, y'all know what we're getting into because y'all know y'all fiends and y'all know y'all back because y'all know what that means. We're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy where not everything is completely free. As we're on Patreon as well for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see, but what is free is judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, and my favorite roll of blunt, but make sure the children are in bed. Why do I say this? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversation. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to one of the most exhilarating podcasts out there, the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're here.
All right. We have links in the description on how to become part of our Patreon family and subscribe for exclusive content, bloopers, behind the scenes, Mr. Yale Discipline's solo lecture of Discipline Therapy Talk, his BDSM content, erotica posts, and writings by Mr. Discipline. We also upload his masterclass and workshops. The full videos are there. We have some collaboration shows pertaining to more sensitive topics such as sexual abuse, rape, domestic violence, transgender, children abductions, conspiracy theories, government conspiracy theories, and much more with myself and Mr. Discipline. Once again, on how to become part of our Patreon family, you go to patreon.com/the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Mr. Yale Discipline also has 7 published books, which are all available for purchase. We have them on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, for electronic versions as well, like Kindle and Nook, and much, much more. Once again, all the links are in the description below the video. And we have our online store for merch at disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. We have different categories you can check if you want to, buy now for Christmas. We have for males, females, children, household, you name it, we got it. And last but not least, if you can't find your way to our YouTube page to watch the show, don't worry. Just go to wherever you get your audio entertainment. We're on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Deezer, Castbox, Overcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and much, much more. Oh, do you want to give the shout out to Joe? Because I totally forgot.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored by Center Stage Music Studio. Shout out to Joe. Oh, I'm so happy you're back. So happy. Thank you. My goodness. As you noticed, the past couple of times, we didn't have this sign up here. So he's always taking care of us, make sure the room is good and ready to go. Yeah, man, he's the best.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to get into it. Season 18, episode 192. I don't remember what it is. I just want to make sure it's verbatim.
It is male horror villains are considered seductive and romanticized, but female villains are considered pure evil.
So why are males, right? Right?
Yeah.
Why are males?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are male villains Why are male villains seductive and women villains are considered pure evil? All right,
Yes.
so guess go first. You know how this goes. You go first. Suhei goes, and then I, you know, finish it off. Finish him.
Well, I believe male hard villains considered seductive is because they're just being tough is supposed to be like a good thing for a guy, and then female villains, they're just there's a reason why they're that way. There no woman is supposed to be mean and just tough, fighting all the time.
That's true. That's what I put down too. I think. Are you done before I jump in?
Mhm.
Okay. I think it goes way back. I think a woman's intuition is stronger than men. Um, except when it comes to their emotions and matters of the heart, which is why I think male villains have to use some sort of um like they have to almost like mesmerize them, put a spell on them to get close so that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. So they have to kind of almost trick them. That's what I think. Also, that's me. Oh, they have to make an evil man has to make himself more attractive in some way to get over or to get a woman, close to them so they can trust them. And on the woman's side, like Tamika said, a woman isn't. We are the ones who bring, we're the caregivers. We give, we're the emotional ones. We comfort others. So for them to go bad, that for a woman to become a villain and to be evil where they hurt and harm others, especially innocent people, that goes against what our nature is, and so you automatically think, well, that's an evil person to be able to do that. And I also think it goes back to like the witch hunt days. So I'm going to give you guys a little and what we're taught, a little history lesson. I think a lot of women, when they finally turn bad, is because of whatever trauma forged them. Like, have you ever heard of Medusa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is the story that you know of Medusa?
Well, she was like a priestess.
Okay, stop
And
right there. Stop right there. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's not what the answer I was looking for.
no.
Because I was always taught before I did my own research.
So
She
I was
was.
gonna keep going.
I know, but don't keep going because I'm gonna keep going. You got the right. You have the right story, but a lot of the times they leave that part of the story out, and they just all you know is that this is an evil woman who has snakes as hair, and she turns people into stone.
Mm-hmm.
But the real story is she was a priestess and she served Athena.
Mm-hmm.
And she, in order to be a priestess for that specific goddess, you had to be a virgin and you had to be loyal and virtuous.
Mm-hmm.
Poseidon, who is a god, or Neptune, whichever name you want to go for, saw how beautiful, because she was a very beautiful young woman, and he made advances, and because she was loyal to Athena, she said no thank you. And what wound up happening? Do you know the rest of the story?
She got cursed.
But why? She got cursed because she rejected his advances and he raped her.
Yeah.
And because Athena is his he doesn't like her. They had problems or whatever. He raped her on Athena's altar. And now what the most fucked up part is that Athena was her goddess that she was serving, and she got jealous because she got raped because of her beauty, and she's the one who turned her into the snake-headed and all that stuff. So this poor woman got fucked over by getting raped, looked for her goddess to help her, and then got fucked over again and got sent away and turned into this monster. So that in that saying, I feel like that's just those attributes made her this evil being now, because she didn't have anybody to defend her. And that's it. That's all I got.
Well, from the last show, I I was letting you finish
Thank you.
because we pride ourselves on education here, so we don't debate, we don't do that. I mean, you know this, right? You've been here more than once. So when someone's saying something, whether it's a male or female that you know are present here on the show, I don't interrupt. That's why I got my notebook out so I don't forget. Because they could be saying something very important for the audience. So I try to like make sure I get the same respect too with the people that come on here because everything I say is important as well. But I'm not negating what they have to say as well because what they could say, like you just taught, like I know the story, but Tamika, did you know the story?
No.
You see, so you just taught her something new, and then other people out there as well. I mean, some people think it's mythology. Some people believe in conspiracies that maybe it's history. It's not mythology, right? Um, so what I'm gonna say is just like the last show, I said exactly what you said, Sue, today, about women are not they don't have like these neurotic behaviors or a mindset or their nervous system is just always up naturally. Like women are not born like that. That's why both of you ladies were saying the same thing. May not be verbatim, but like I'll say to summarize like nature. It's not in a woman's nature, right? So it's not in a woman's nature to be like all edge and all that stuff. Just like the last show I said she goes through something to make her be that way. So now she is neurotic. Now she is on edge. Now her nervous system is always up, right? Because women aren't naturally like this. I mean, even when I was younger, I never met women like this. They're more crazier now and on point because they got more trauma now than anything, even back in the day. So, so that's the first thing. For me, I believed like this is like a lot. Science, biological makeup. In my first book, The Seduction of Discipline, chapter 22, Good Girls, Bad Boys. I think, well, first I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get back into it. The characters like Jason, Michael Myers, they wouldn't survive in 2025. You punch through the door, the wooden door. The woman is she shuts the door. She's leaning up against the back, breathing heavy. Oh, thank God, thank God. He's probably gonna punch through the door to rear choke her. Like women today like that, but that's scary. You see them in the film screaming and shit, but at the end of the day, like they're still aroused. They only screaming because they think, "Oh man, this guy's gonna kill me" or whatever it is. But women just naturally gravitate towards danger, and it comes back to their nature of, not being exposed to that. Like I have some pets, right? Lucky is one of my dogs, and the thing is, like, he's taken care of very well. When I go to work, he knows what to do. But there's this big ass cage that he stays in. And, he's let out to eat and stuff of that nature, roams, spread his legs, gets walks daily and stuff of that nature, right? So when he's in that cage and then he's let out, he goes wild. He goes wild to the point where you have to tell him, stop it, sit, this and that, right? And I use that real life experience as an example of metaphorically, like women are caged, and they're caged due to their emotions, their desires. All that stuff have to be suppressed for them to maintain an image because of how women were kind of born to be, how society have them, whether we see public figures, how they should dress and stuff of that nature. So by them being in a cage, their cage is metaphorically like potential judgment and ridicule, family, peers, and stuff like that's their cage. So for them, it's like they already have these dark desires. They're just repressing them. Like you've heard this before, right? And if you haven't, then I'll tell you now. You probably heard this before. Women read porn, men watch it. Have you heard that before? So this is a true thing. That's why the 50 Shades of Grey thing was so well. More women bought that. More women in this world than men. So women actually they actually have these adventures. They're more kinkier and stuff of that nature. And a woman could be looking at a bad boy or a villain. They could be in direct correlation, maybe to some people, as The summary: arousal. Danger. Sexual arousal, emotional arousal, mental arousal. Well, so I think that that's one of the reasons why they're seductive. Now we don't say is it do women find them seductive or just in general?
In general.
In general. So we don't like. I'm not looking at Michael Myers and be like, yo, he's seductive.
No, but Dracula.
Yes, yes. I mean, Dracula had seductive power, so that really doesn't count. But when you look at like most male villains, like let's look at Joker. All the Jokers played from Michael Keaton, the first one, to maybe Heath Ledger, and so on, right? And Jack Nicholson, is that his name?
Jack Nicholson, yeah, Joker.
Yeah. So all those Jokers played. I would never say to myself, "Oh, he was seductive."
No,
You
but
know what I'm
real
saying?
life evil people, Ted Bundy, he was considered hot.
Mm, you have a point.
And he was very charming. That's how he got a lot of the chicks, dummy. He even had women go to the court just because he was good looking, and they were like, he can't have killed anybody. Look at him, he's so hot.
Yeah. But would I see that still? Like, I think it's still going to one gender. Like, even I'm not gonna look at a man and be like, he's good looking. That's how he got all these girls. You see what I'm saying?
You're asking if it's the same for a woman?
Yeah, so
Villain?
so this is not this is general society, men and women. Are we viewing this male villain as seductive? I think it's more geared towards women to put in this context of the seduction in that regard. I don't think men fathom seduction. Right or wrong?
I think regular schmegular men don't. But
Yeah.
probably one of those, intellects do.
Yeah. So I think like most women, right? Obviously we see those movies, they're screaming and stuff of that nature. Most women have actually weird sexual fantasies. Some women have great fantasies. Some women have like role playing fantasies. I mean, shit. Let's play like we're in Halloween. Daddy, you be Michael Myers. Chase me with the knife or something. Like some people have that, right? We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So I know there's a lot of women out there who like erotic asphyxiation, choking, and that's dangerous, especially if you don't know how to do it right, right? So like we know men are stronger than women. That act, a guy could kill you, especially if you don't know how to do it right. But when most women are gravitating towards that type of danger still. You see what I'm saying? So I think that the masochistic part too in women play a factor. I think women are masochistic, whether it's emotionally, psychologically, obviously sexually, because you're allowing that type of abuse or type of danger or humiliation. That's what like masochism is. So I think that by nature, it's just. Have you ever heard, Tamika? Let me ask you, and Sue, have you ever heard a woman say like, maybe in not like the context or verbatim, but have you ever heard a woman say, I had the best sex of my life? He was like she'll describe the best sex she had. She was like, "Oh, I had the best sex of my life. He groped me. We kissed the whole time. It was missionary. It was hugs. It was a light tap on no, not even a light tap. He just grabbed my butt.
That's
Grabbed my
somebody that
hips,
has
right?
some boring
Or
sex.
have you heard women be like, "Yo, I've had the best sex. He grabbed the fuck out of my hair, yanked the shit back, choking the fuck out of me, like rough type shit, penetrating me or whatever, push me up against the wall." All that shit sounds like abuse to me if I'm not like looking, about my lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? All that like is sensed or sounds like danger to me if somebody's describing it, right?
Definitely rough.
If I'm vanilla. So like if we're looking at rough, right? That's like it's borderline danger.
Yeah.
Borderline domestic violence. Like we hear it all the time. Like you don't commonly hear men really staying. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you don't commonly hear men staying with abusive women. You
That's true.
mainly hear women staying with abusive men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like even though it's like bad and it's happening to us, and we don't have a choice. This is the only place I'm staying. I can't go back anywhere. Parents, whatever. I'll be homeless, paying all the bills. I need them. They still stick around. So I always believe that when you're constantly doing something, you like it, even if it's subconscious. You know, so I think the masochistic part of women come out. So that's why these guys, they put a label on them of, damn, they're kind of sexy. There was this thing going on like years ago of this felon, that light skinned dude. He started
with the green eyes.
yeah,
The
and
mugshot dude.
and the
right?
mugshot dude. You know how many women was come murder this pussy?
Oh my Lord. Child.
Rest in peace to Aaron Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Come murder this pussy. Like women were in the comments. Like I was like,
But
ladies, are you okay?
But they've had new ones where the girls are being arrested in their mugshot, and the guys are saying this same type of stuff.
Yeah, feminine. It's still feminine.
Mm.
Yeah, you know, you're right. But and you see me in the comments?
No.
Yeah, so you're not gonna see masculine men saying, "Yeah, girl, I want to get with the crazy one. I want to get with the one that looks dangerous and chaotic. It's gonna, just bring hell to my life. I need that type of balance.
No.
It's gonna be on the brink to kill me. You gotta get with a woman that's kind of gonna, stab you once. That's how you know you love her. She loves you. What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, you don't hear a lot of men saying that. So I think that that's why I think mostly women will see them as seductive. I wouldn't put men in there. And then the women villains are seen as pure evil, because I'll agree with you, ladies, and of innate, how they're born. We back in the days, we did not, come on. And that's the thing too, because if you want to hide something, hide it in plain sight. You're not gonna look at the woman and be like, she's evil. You're not. Back in the days, like, women were
Just on physical? Just on looking at them?
yes, just physically,
Yeah,
judging
no,
a book by its cover.
Definitely not.
So most of the times, like even today, you'll see more prettier women get everything than women who aren't pretty, because men and women will just look at that and say, oh, she gotta be pure, she gotta be nice, she's popular and she looks good, she's gotta be good.
But also nowadays you see that type of evil dressed up in a suit. I'm talking about women dressed up in a suit and sitting, in front of Congress or whatever, saying, bomb the children because we don't like that type of people. That's evil.
Yeah.
It's evil when you can see a child, forget adults that are innocent and civilians and all that. When you can see an image of a child missing limbs, or you're being told that's the only surviving person in that family, and you still be like, well, oh well.
Some people are cold like that.
That's beyond cold. That's evil. That is pure evil. And to go to Congress and fight to continue to bomb them, that is pure evil.
Yeah, it's like I agree. And I think that when you can see, and this is my own perspective, right? When you can see a woman and be like, yo, she's pure evil, right? It's more believable in regards to, like, there's so much things that they could do that's not pleasurable. Whereas the man, you're like, oh, he's pure evil, but it's arousing. It might even be arousing to other guys too, because especially if they're seeing those rewards that they're getting, they might say, I want to be like him. Even if they talk to themselves in their mind, they're not speaking out loud. I want to be like him, but he's pure evil. What do you got?
I mean, it depends on what kind of pure evil you're talking about.
We could talk about the government. We could talk about certain people running the world or whatever, like they could be like, oh, that's pure evil, but I want to be like them. The guys, I want to follow them. The guys, the women, that's pure evil. Then they look at the other side. Let him bring that to the bedroom.
I'm gonna choose to disagree with that one.
You know, so good girls, bad boys. This is a common thing. It's not rare. It's not like a crazy phenomenon or something like that. This is a common thing. So I would say when you see this concept of good girls and bad boys, right? Why do you think it's like normal or not normal? First of all, do you think it's normal?
Yeah.
Why do you think, and I'm going to ask you the same thing, Sue, why do you think that that's normal? Like, before you go, wouldn't you think that it would be more common and sustainable for good girls to get with good boys?
Two soft people aren't good together. I don't like. I if I'll say this, if I'm soft, but I'm soft to a point. I can't have somebody just like
Just as soft as you?
Yeah, just as soft as me. I need somebody that's tough, and I like toughness. I like being joked.
And
I don't want nobody to be nice.
and,
I guess being sweet is nice.
and a good guy can't be that.
Just because they're tough doesn't mean that they're bad. So you can have a balance.
So you believe they can have a balance.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Sue?
Well,
good girls, bad boys. Is that normal?
It is normal. It's very you see that a lot, and I'm gonna piggyback off of what Tamika said. I think it's also we've been taught that good guys finish last. That good guys are boring. That good guys, they're good guys, but they're boring. And I think that that happens. Good girls, bad boys happen because of polar opposites. You know what I mean? You're attracted to what either you lack or you want, and that's why they get together. Go ahead.
Just because Joker was bad and mean and evil didn't mean that he didn't have a heart and fall in love with somebody.
So Harley Quinn,
he was good to her. He was good to her. He would go above and beyond for her. Doesn't mean that he would go above and beyond for everybody.
So was Harley Quinn evil?
Something made her that way. She went crazy.
She went crazy doesn't mean she's evil. She's crazy.
But she didn't. I wouldn't consider her bad and evil just because I like her. But I would say she did bad things because of love.
She was in love with him.
And yeah, that's why she did bad things.
That's why a lot of women do dumb things. Dumb, 100%. Bad, whatever it is. When they fall in love or they're in that emotion, they want to make them happy. You need money? I got money. You want me to kill somebody? I'll go kill somebody.
A lot of people do some crazy things because they fell in love with somebody.
Exactly.
I think women are more vindictive than men.
100%.
Because of the emotions and hell have no fury like a woman scorn. That's true. When you see a woman who's pure evil, that's hard in regards to like incorrigible. Like it's hard for you to think, oh, she could be rehabilitated. You know what I'm saying? Because if you kind of already have that inside you, and then now it's just like, I don't give a fuck, like I'm having it out and pushing it out there, and everybody knows this is how I move or whatever, it's more dangerous. Like, that's not seductive. People are not attracted to that. Like, it's pure evil in that regard. Like, it's not giving you any type of pleasure. I'll reiterate. I don't think for men or women.
Wait, it's not
because
giving pleasure to the person
yeah,
that's
because
evil?
no,
To the
because
other people.
yeah,
Gotcha.
because this is looking on the outside in for them.
Mm-hmm.
The women looking at the male and villain, and then the males or the women looking at the female who's pure evil,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why would I be friends with her if I'm a girl thinking, why would I be friends with her? She's pure evil.
Mm-hmm.
There's not gonna be pleasure there. Like she gonna violate. I'm
Yep.
putting myself at risk. A man, why would I get in a relationship with her? Why would I do anything? She's pure evil.
This is assuming that they're out in the open with their evil, you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
and everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Some
You
people
know,
like mean people.
like imagine a woman actually going out there and be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna put this out there. I used to slip things in men's drinks. When I was stripping, I was doing this, and this is how I hustled them. This is how I got this. This is how I got that. I'm looking at that as like pure evil. And the woman is not taking accountability. She's she's basking in that. She's celebrating her victories. Oh, they deserved it. You know, she'll put certain things out there like women are born with a disadvantage. I'm just leveling the playing field, whatever, right? I'm looking at her like, damn, she's pure evil. You know what I'm saying? Like she's putting that out there. I'm giving you guys an example. I notice. I'm like, why would I get with her? I'm not getting any pleasure
Mm-hmm.
there. Now flip it, and then you talk about the. What I'm gonna just mention what we all are like familiar with. I don't even know his name, but the green eyes, light skinned dude
I don't know his name
with the
either.
teardrop
Mm-hmm.
tattoo, the mugshot.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even need to know what he did. Oh, he's a felon? He could come felon on his pussy. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Like he's a felon. Like you're not gonna know. Erwin Hernandez. They talked about that. Rest in peace. Same thing. Like, you know, they got people, men and women who will still like glorify that, or women who will be like, yo, because he's attractive, he gets a pass.
That's what I
That's
wanted to ask you.
seductive.
This is what I wanted to ask you. Are you basing that on let's say the evil woman is a good looking woman too? Do you think that would make a difference? Their attractiveness compared to an ugly evil person?
That's a good question.
Because
I
a
think that,
story
yeah, you're right. I think that the attractiveness would
lessens it.
still, yes, it would lessen the accountability
Hmm.
because society would not hold them accountable. It would lessen the accountability. So even the simps would gravitate towards her.
Right, because she's pretty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also think depending on, other women and their circumstances and where they come from, they might agree with that. Like, well, they're going there and they're drinking, they should know to cover their drink, what or whatever, to make, not hold her accountable
Mhm.
either. But like there's no if, ands, or but around a female nurse in and this was on the news, in who worked in the nursery, right? Newborn babies, and she would break little black babies' arms. Only black babies,
Mhm.
newborns. And it wasn't the first time. And when they caught her, she got suspended, but she was still getting paid.
Mhm.
That is pure evil.
Was she white?
Yes, she was.
So
That
now,
is pure evil though, because now she's at least the woman that you're talking about. Those are grown ass men. They're going there. Hey, you could get robbed by another man or whatever. You're talking about an infant, a newborn, maybe 2 days old, maybe a couple of hours old, and you're gonna go and break their arms.
mm,
It takes. Let me tell you something, because I work in the medical field. It takes a lot to actually break a newborn's bones because they're so pliable. They're so like bendy up until a certain age. Isn't that insane? That is
insane.
pure evil.
Yeah.
so seduction. What is your view on seduction? Like, what does it mean to you?
Mm,
There's no right or wrong answer.
getting what you want is I don't know.
Seduction,
Yeah.
getting what you want.
Yeah.
And
Pushing.
So me personally, like what I believe seduction is it is many forms. Like I wrote, seduction is just a thing of anticipation. Like I wrote that in my first book, The Seduction Discipline. But if you think about like seduction can be many different definitions for different people. So I'm going to give you an example. We talked about beauty. Somebody's not even doing nothing. Beauty could be seductive. A woman putting on lipstick could be seductive. A provocative, dancing provocatively, dressing provocatively could be seductive. Because we're looking at what's the end goal there. It can influence something, right? To induce some type of pleasure. So when we look at seduction, yeah, it can be a look, a handsome guy. It can be, like you said, Sue, would it make a difference if she was beautiful or sexy and
A
to
smell.
most people, and she's pure evil or doing evil or immoral stuff. You know, so that's what I believe seduction is, just to give you guys an idea if you want to piggyback off that. But it is perspective because different people with their lifestyle circumstances and stuff think of it differently. It could be intelligence. Maybe she's a sapiosexual. I love intelligence. He knows how to use his words to stroke my mind. That's seductive.
How somebody smells, the way they
Yeah,
talk.
the way they
Not necessarily the way they talk, but the sound of their voice.
yeah,
I think.
maybe
The energy.
dancing, yeah.
Oh, dancing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big one.
Yeah. So it's kind of scary, right? When and I think one of the last shows you came on, you said that, like, I was like, well, I have some seductive mannerisms. And I was like, but I control it. And you were like, but you still like know how to use it. So it's still dangerous.
Yeah.
So yeah, with this
Dangerous man.
yeah,
It
with
definitely is though.
what?
You're a dangerous man.
Yeah.
He's
so
like, I know.
so it really comes down to like really knowing that person, that individual. Like it comes down to knowing them, like their childhood, even though they're seductive. Because you're right. I think Sue, you were saying it when you were saying that the guy Ted
Bundy.
that was getting all these women, he was seductive to these women.
Yep.
I don't think he's seductive,
Me
obviously, but he was seductive to these women, so he was able to trick them.
Well, he had the gift of gab.
What's that guy? The weird guy. The Jeffrey Dahmer guy. He seduced people to get him in.
Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, yeah.
Yeah. So seduction comes in many forms.
That's not.
No,
Like many forms. It could be even oh well, let me invite her over, put the music on, this, that, get some, get her inebriated, she'll be free. That is like, so you got to know how to use it because it can be evil.
Yes.
But some people may seem like they're being seductive and they're not even doing anything.
It's just how
Yeah, they're
naturally.
like, why are you looking at me like that? Like, I'm not doing anything.
Let me ask you ladies a question. If, let's say ladies, right? Because can we agree that it's the ladies that will see this as more seductive than men?
See what?
A male villain.
Yes.
Right?
No, but there's some men that will find a female villain.
No. Will men look at other men villains and be like, seduction?
No.
So you both are with me, right?
Yes.
So women are gonna, let's say the women victims are gonna look at the male or males villains, male villains, and be like, they're seductive, right? Those women are looking at them and they're saying, okay, these men are seductive. And they could see it, right? They know, oh, he's bad, he's a villain and whatnot, maybe evil, but I know he's seductive. Is it still on the man because they know that they're pure evil, they know that they're a villain, and they're like, he's so seductive, I'm still going to engage, interact, let him woo me, um, whatever. Shit, he got felonies for doing this to women, but he's hitting on me and he's hot. So let me give him a shot. Maybe I could be the one to change him. Like, is it still the male villain fault?
It's not their fault. No.
I think at that point, no. Because if you know everything that there is and you still continue, well, then you're just putting yourself in a trap. You're trapping yourself in it.
Yeah, I think it's really, really difficult when we don't know. So when they're masking it, like the Ted Bundy guy, I don't know the story, right? But we're using him as an example. He hid it, right? So he used his seductive nature because ulterior, he was getting off, pause, for whatever evil he was doing to them. Like that
And he
was
killing
his,
them.
yeah, that was his get off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he had to use that. But I'm saying if they actually knew, like if you
Right.
if you know that, like what women would say, oh, that's a sexy Michael Myers. Like if you know that that's a pure evil guy, villain, and then you engage in there, that's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. If they know everything that there is to know about this person that they want to engage, and what there is to know is that really all you need to know is this person is evil and he did bad things, and you still want to give it a chance and put yourself in a situation where it can happen to you, that's totally your fault. 100%.
Do you think that the women who we believe are pure evil could be rehabilitated? Or are they incorrigible? Like, can they change? Can they be healed? Can they go back to what they were born to be?
Maybe. If they get nurtured, maybe.
Nurtured how?
Heal whatever wound that caused them to be the evil side. Maybe there's a slight chance for some of them. Maybe not all of them, but some might.
How would they get there? Because
Work.
you're saying nurtured. Okay, I agree with that. I see that. They gotta recognize, right? Too.
Mhm.
So the healing, how would they get there? Like that's all that would get them there, those two components?
Yeah. Healing that wound.
Well, I think for a woman to get to that point where she's considered pure evil, the basic part of what would make her the opposite of that has been broken somewhere down the line, like she was saying. But I think that, um, and this is across the board, whether it's a man or woman, I think that once you've reached that level of evilness, there's no rehabilitating that. Personally, that's what I think. Because not only that, you have to want to change. You have to, invite that change, that energy to be a completely different person than what you've been this whole time. And I've said it before on this show, to change how you are, to make that 360, that is very, very hard. You have to change how you used to think to a whole new way of thinking. And not, a lot of people, whether it's because ego or whatever, they don't like to admit, damn, I've been fucking wrong this whole time. They don't like that. And so because they don't like that and their ego is in the way, they're not going to want to be open to change. Now, unless they're facing the death penalty, and if you don't repent or whatever, and then they want to come, that to me, there's an ulterior motive for why now you agree to change, personally. Now, there are stories that I've heard of during the original Holocaust with the Jews and all that stuff. I heard stories of young Jewish women who would seduce the German soldiers, take them to the woods, and then kill them. That to me, was it an evil? Did they take an evil route? Yeah, but under those circumstances, I don't
So
I
then,
don't consider
so then
that.
some evil is needed. Said that in one of the
I
shows.
guess so.
What
Yeah.
about the girl that she was like held captive and she killed the person
And they
that was,
charged
and they
her. She
charged
was
her,
young
and
too.
and she
Yeah.
was in jail. That's
She's still in
what she
jail.
did. No, she's out.
Oh, thank God.
She's out. She's married.
Oh,
I
that's
think
so
she's living a
nice.
good life.
But still, yeah, she was young. She
Yeah,
was
I
like
read a
14,
story.
15 or whatever.
Yeah, but what she did was evil. But at the end of the day,
It was needed.
it was needed.
It was needed.
She
So
healed from whatever.
so you know, it's just also subjective. You know, I did the show Fundamentally Good and Bad.
I know. I wanted to do that one so bad too.
There's gonna be a part 2. Evil is subjective. You know, so myself,
Some
you,
evil.
Tamika, and Suhei all think of evil differently. You can't say that, oh, discipline, this is pure evil. And I can't say, no, this is pure evil. So, for example, let's say a woman is in a relationship and she posts provocative photos online. I'm like, that's evil. Y'all ladies might say, oh, I don't agree what she's doing, but I don't think that's pure evil. Like, come on, discipline. Like, you know, try to be realistic here. You see, so it's subjective, you know. So I think that in order for you to get to that point, you need to have something that triggered it to get to that point. I think they can be rehabilitated. You're right. It comes down to nurturing, having the right people around you to nurture. How are they going to actually get there besides knowing themselves and healing? Consistency. See, that's the major component. That's what I was looking for you to say. See, what we're around and what we do consistently becomes second nature. So if you are around somebody, like let's say a woman was pure evil, she gets with me. And like I might have bad boy tendencies or whatever or subjective evil, but the evil that she's doing is going to get her killed if she continues to do it. And you're fucking with people that you don't really know. And if you keep doing it, yeah, you're getting away with it now. There's going to be a dead end and you're going to be backed up in a corner and it could lead to possible death. Right? And also the people that you care about could get hurt too. So if I'm coming in there and I'm educating her and I'm leading her and I'm like, this is not what we do here. This is what we do. Now she's getting that constant education. If she's interested in me, she's going to change. But there has to be a interest, respect, and trust. 3 major components gotta be there. She gotta be interested in me, she gotta respect me, and trust me. Because if those 2 things are intact, trust and respect, she gonna follow. Because if I say something, you're not gonna think it's dumb. You're gonna believe it, and maybe I should consider doing this. So she gotta be in that man's life. Like it got to be consistent there. It's not like he just showed up as like a mentor for a month, because a month down the line, she going to go back to what she was doing, like therapy. Her friends, her household, all of these things got to embody healthy.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it's going to remain consistent, because we're human beings, right? So we just naturally go back to vices or bad habits or whatever it is, especially due to triggers, maybe survival, whatever, right? Losses of relatives or whatever. You get people that fucking relapse. Yeah, I've been sober for blah, blah, blah. Something happens, I'm about to do coke again. Snort these lines. I'm about to go out drinking, get fucked up. I'm not just drinking, I'm getting shit-faced drunk.
Blackout.
You understand? So me personally, I'm not saying this is the right answer, but me personally, I believe that what we like choose to ingest mentally, spiritually, emotionally, consistently become us. And that's a person too. So yeah, there's hope for them, but it takes special individuals, like I said in that show, Fundamentally Good or Bad. And special individuals not everywhere. You know, so you could have situations with the woman had a street life. She was doing this, robbing, setting people up, doing some whole shit. And then she gets with a good man who maybe is a bad boy. She sees like bad boy tendencies, but he's good all around. And he's just like, you're never doing that anymore. You're not doing this. I want to see you get out of that life and go to school and do this. The three major components, interest, respect, and trust, is what gets her on that board.
Do you think that depends though on their level of evilness, or do you think like just anybody who's evil?
So give me more context. Like,
Okay, so you're saying that you think pure evil is a woman that shows her body.
That was an example.
Okay, so give me an evil, and then I'll tell you.
I have an example.
Okay, go ahead. Give me. She's like,
The case that's going on now.
With
She
Puff?
did some nasty shit, and that shit that she did was very fucking evil and nasty and disgusting.
we talking about the Puff case?
Yes, the whole thing is disgusting and nasty. Now, what life is she living now?
And
But
she's
who knows if she could be still doing that type of stuff. Who knows?
Okay,
But
this is
from
perfect.
the-
This is perfect.
And also, who knows if she's taking cash advances to maybe tweak some shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is perfect because we have two evils in this, right? We have her who, by all means, she should be held accountable for whatever role she played. But then you have him who was 20 years her senior, more experience with tricking people. There's a different word, but it's not coming to my mind right now. Being manipulative, doing this because after her, he kept doing it with the next one.
Up
with
until
the next
he
one.
got locked up.
Exactly.
He still did it, but it was
And you know who that
something-
was? By the way, this is just gossip. That was 50 Baby's mama.
I heard about that too.
What?
Because you got to think about it, he's calling her pee-pee mouth now.
Anyway,
Listen.
but this is what I'm saying. Does it make a difference what level of evil? So, okay, I'm gonna throw another one in there. We have Puff, we have Cassie. They each have their own evil roles that they played. Are those two evils the same as a person who molests and kills a child? Which one's more evil?
No, it's like it's subjective to you what the level is.
Okay,
so
but this is what I'm
I'm looking at it like they're on the same level.
They're all on the same level. Okay,
Not
so
all of them, but that's on this. They're both what you mentioned are on the same level.
with the child murderer,
Yeah.
they're all on the same level. Okay, so can Puff be rehabilitated? You think that all three
No,
of them
he's
can be
always-
rehabilitated?
I don't think he can. I think
I don't think so.
I
No,
think
we
he's-
we talk. Listen, you're getting off
That's
the
a
shit
villain.
right now.
What do you
and you're making
mean?
this about men and women.
No, I'm not. I'm making it about
Okay,
evil and whether or not
no,
it's
you're not staying on
rehabilitated.
you're not staying on the topic. Why are males villains seductive and then it says women are pure evil? So I'm breaking it down in bullets. We talked about what seduction was, right? Subjectively, good girls, bad boys. We talked about pure evil, subjective, and then what gets you to that point and can you get out of that? So the topic is women evil. So we could have another topic about men, and shit like that. But
Well,
we're talking about
with
like
Cassie-
women
Got
evil.
you. I just
so,
lumped everybody together.
yeah.
That's
So
why.
let's say Cassie, right? I'll say when she was young, it was not her fault. Obviously, you're pretty much a kid getting with
Yeah,
a man,
she
But
was
she was
18.
with him
right?
until she
But
10 years.
but she's molded to be evil. That's the trigger,
Yeah.
right? That's the trigger. Activities and the individual and who else he brought her around. I don't want to talk about shit like this. This is not the podcast for it, but we're just using the
As an example.
All right. So whatever they were around, people are probably waiting for me to say something about it, but I try to stay away from that type of stuff. And whoever else they were around. So she's now at the fucking parties. So now, it's so now hard to like get away from evil. She's embodying that now to a point where it becomes second nature. She don't even see it as evil anymore.
Well,
and,
that's
and plus, the people around are just as evil.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm talking about, like energy,
Yeah.
like what we're investing, who's around, whatever, what we're
Because
watching.
that's another thing, and this has nothing to do whether it's men or women. But just like R. Kelly, like you don't get to do those things and have your whole camp not know about it. They are providing whether it's a woman in your camp that's providing it, like the Maxine, whatever, who was working with Epstein. She would bring these young girls to the island so that they can whatever happened on that island. So to me, it's not about whether it's a male or female and who's more evil. I'm just saying that it's an impossibility to do that kind of stuff without people backing you.
Yeah. So what I want to finish with is, if she didn't spend that much time with him, like a short time, right? And kind of experienced like not even half, we'll say maybe a quarter of it, right? And now it's kind of like second nature. She doesn't even see it as evil. It's fucking normal. Like I go to sleep well at night or whatever. This is normal. This is what we do. Can she be rehabilitated if she was to get with someone completely opposite? More dominant, masculine, divine masculine, got on the right path, healing, and stuff of that nature. Would she be able to be rehabilitated?
Yeah. At this point, she is rehabilitated. She's living a normal, straight life. She doesn't.
Well, from what you see,
What we see,
you don't.
yes.
Yeah, see behind the closed doors.
Hmm. I believe she can be rehabilitated. Yes, if the proper person guided her in the correct direction and gave her the proper nurturing other than the negative part of that. Yes, she can.
How long you think that would take?
Probably a while.
So, can
In that case of what happened to her, I do believe that she can be rehabilitated. Which is why I brought up like the different types of evil, like the different types of things. Like that I think she can be. Somebody who, molests and kills children, I don't think that they can be. In her case, yes, I do think she can be rehabilitated.
yeah, I mean, some circumstances I could say evil is needed. For example, a trespasser. If I'm violent with them, some people could look at that as evil, but I'm protecting my family. So it's very few circumstances in my mind I could be like, oh, it's needed. But I think when it pertains to the woman, that's like major red flag. Like, what happened? I think it's common for like you hear like bad boys. I don't think it's common for you to hear bad girls.
Bad Girls Club.
Yeah, but it's not common.
They're not bad. They're just ratchet.
Ratchet Club.
Like it's not a thing. Like they're out there, but it's not a thing. I think that when a woman, in my opinion, is like pure evil, she's leading there. There's no way there's a pure evil shy girl who's just like you know not out there hustling people and robbing and doing the malice and shit like that, and just fucking rage, and like they're setting people up. Oh, retaliation time, retaliation. They take it to the extreme. They don't have no remorse. Oh, that old lady fucking stomped on my foot. I'm not gonna take your sorry. Like, let's fight. Like, what? He probably has a cane. What's wrong with you? Like, keep it moving. It's not natural. You know what I'm saying, for the woman. And I think the woman can be rehabilitated, but it takes the divine masculine to come in. Like, God gotta be in them. Cause I look at this as like people could say like biblical or whatever, right? Like God and devil. And we don't have to look at it in a biblical aspect. We could look at it on a metaphoric aspect. God metaphorically, devil, you know what I'm saying? Metaphorically. So, she got devil inside her, a lot of it, high percentage, but if she could meet the God, like through him, he could lead her to God. And that doesn't mean like religion or anything like that, but, healing and health.
I also think being away from that environment helps you heal because now it's not constantly in your face.
Yeah, so yeah.
know
This
what I
goes
mean?
back to what I was saying with
Yeah.
everything that you're absorbing from your environment
Mhm.
to what you absorb on social media, who you allow in your circle of friends or family, who you date, who you plan to marry, who you have children with. Even that type of evil could be passed down to him or her, generational curses. You know, slavery time. are white people that are born now pure evil because of their ancestors?
Don't get me started on that topic.
Like it's so much things to really get into. You could look at this on many different avenues. Like, are they really evil, or they being fake with you? Like, do they have that inside them to be like their ancestors? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many things. I'm not picking on them. I'm just giving an example. To make people understand. So I think it's a lot of nuances to this. Male villains, seductive, women viewed as pure evil. I think maybe some guys could think, oh, that's seductive. Like you were saying, so if she's pretty enough, like slip something in my drink, tie me up, do whatever. Nearly kill me
Be
to
careful what you
death.
wish for.
Nearly kill
like
me to
it.
death. Like, as long as she look good, I'll be willing to die for it. As long as she look good, die for the pussy.
Oh Lord.
Like, you got some weird dudes out there. Simps like to the simpest level. You know what I'm saying? Who may see it, but I don't think as a whole, like society, I don't think we're gonna look at that as seductive. The pure evil women or woman.
Well, I mean, the way I see it, somebody who is pure evil is very cunning, very sly, very
Manipulative.
They do their research. Someone who is
They do their research.
like like they study the person that they're trying to hurt.
Oh, okay.
Like somebody like there was one of the first female serial killers, Eileen. I can't even remember her name. Werberth. I don't remember. White lady. She would kill. Like she would pretend that she was a hooker. The guy would stop and she would kill him.
Mm.
But if you ever see what this woman looked like, she looked unhinged. Her hair was dirty. Like, how in God's name were you passing for a prostitute is beyond me. That she's evil, but there's clearly something that, she's off. Like, she's crazy, something. That to me is a different type of evil than someone who sits there and chooses, actually takes time, days or whatever, to choose their victim to make sure I'm going to fucking really hurt this person. That is a big difference. Because even though that sounds crazy, they're calculating. They're not just flying off the handle and like, I feel the urge to kill, which a lot of male serial killers do. They have that urge and they have to just kill, and that's how they get sloppy and then they get caught.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that women just do it. I'm just saying that somebody who really like studies you is a different type of evil.
It's not just male serial killers,
Yes,
right? So like,
correct.
let's say a relative molesting or raping a niece or a daughter. You know what I'm saying? So that's pure evil in my sense as well. So it comes down
Me
to
too.
like perspective here. And levels, but perspective for sure.
There's a story, Tim Tebow. I think he was a football player. I don't know if he still is.
No,
He's not, or you
he's
don't
not.
know him.
He's not.
Oh, he now does where he tries to go and help. He's like a child advocate type, and I was watching one of his interviews, and he said that they caught a suspect that preyed on children, and they asked him, why, what about, how do you pick your victims? And the guy said, I sit there and I watch them and I choose the happiest kid so that I can take their happiness away for the rest of their lives. That is beyond evil. That's beyond evil. And to do it to a child.
Yeah. I think that it's same level of evil. Is just, one is more calculating, like you said. They're strategic with it. They're picking out their victims versus like it being random, just reactive, and just doing it sporadically, out of control.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying that's where the difference is. It's almost out of control for some.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you can tell there's obviously they all have some sort of mental illness, but it's obvious.
Let me ask you something, Tamika, and then Sue, and then we can do our final thoughts if y'all don't have any more. If a man married a woman and and let's say they had kids, didn't have kids, and she cheated on him, and he found out about it, and like his way of retaliating is not I'm leaving you, I'm filing for divorce. His way of retaliating it is you hurt me so bad, now I want to physically hurt you. I'm verbally gonna abuse you, you whore, whatever, that, and then I'm gonna physically abuse you, right? And they're doing it consciously. They're not drunk or anything like that, and they're like hurting them to the point where like, yo, stop it. Like, you gonna kill this person. You know what I'm saying? If you keep going, like you keep stomping on them or you're using an object to beat them with or whatever it is, and you clearly see like she got marks on her face, bodies or whatever it is, right? Is that man pure evil? Or no, he's just because she cheated.
No, he beat her. What his actions is what's evil. Yes, he's evil. He did something evil. Just because she cheated, he could have walked away from it. But his actions is what made him do evil shit.
Is the woman that cheated pure evil?
Yeah, because she out there doing things she wasn't supposed to be doing. Yeah, that's evil. You're not supposed to do stuff like that.
So now you think subjective. What if I said to you, and I'm trying to think objectively here, not subjective. What if I said to you, yo, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing as a man? So like her going out there and getting her needs met is just, he shouldn't have done that to her.
They're still both that wrong. He could have put the effort in and did, and she should have spoke up if he wasn't.
I'm not saying that's how I think. I'm just saying if somebody
Yeah.
was to challenge you and not like have the woman take accountability or the man take accountability and say that. Like, oh, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do.
At that point, both of them are supposed to take. Both of them have to take accountability on how that situation got to where.
So
The
Sue.
main.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So Sue, is he pure evil? Or you don't consider that like evil? Like that was a bad thing, but he's not pure evil. And don't put into play, I'm sorry to cut you off. Don't put into play that they have kids or not. Just think that it's just them, husband and wife. No kids involved.
I think it's pure. It's evil. I wouldn't say pure evil, and I wouldn't put it on with like neck to neck with other evil. But I do agree with her in the sense that pure evil because A, he's a man. He knows that he's stronger. B, he didn't control himself. He just kept on. He let the urge to give payback take over, and now she's on the brink of death. That is what makes it evil. Was he, just in hitting her? I don't know. I know that it sounds and like an emotional thing. He was angry and he hit her, but him not stopping himself makes it evil. Was she evil in doing that? Yes, both of them. Even if somebody came and said he wasn't doing his role as a man, then she should have, like Tamika said, verbalized it, said something, tried to work it out. If nothing happened, then she should have walked away and left before that happened. Just like he, instead of, whooping that ass or slap her if you want, and then walk away. There's no need to stay there and make things even worse now.
So you're saying like the act is pure evil, not they're not pure evil.
Right.
All right. So I disagree. I think that they're pure evil. Both. It's like it's in them because I think it comes down to the individual first, what you put in your mind, and then your body moves to what's in your mind. So it's them, and their actions dictate who they are. I believe. I might not be right about this, but their actions dictate who they are. So they're pure evil. And like I would say there's levels to it. Cause I would say like he's more evil than she is. because of where he's going with that. Like me personally, like I'm divorcing you. Good. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get half now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we signed a prenup anyways,
Mm.
but you don't get half now. And then this and that. Find a way to do it. Now, if you got kids, it's like, oh well, I gotta support them and whatnot or whatever. They're innocent in this regard. You ain't getting shit. But I'll
Mm.
make sure they got shit. I ain't putting you in the will, but they gonna be in the will. You know what I'm saying? So in regards to that, there's ways to go about it, but for him to take it to like, yo, that's your wife. Like you could have killed her. That's
Mm-hmm.
pure evil. Like you're not even thinking about that. The man's job is to provide and protect. If men are scared to do that, you got to choose right.
See, I think I agree with you, but to me, you can have a good person that is put in a circumstance that makes them snap, and now they're doing a bad thing. You could have somebody who is tight for money, sees.
No, because that's making them not take accountability.
No, I'm
So,
not
so
saying I'm not saying that their actions was correct or anything. I'm saying that because of whatever circumstance, it made them or they
I know,
chose to do
I
that.
know the trigger.
Right. That doesn't. I'm not saying that was correct or whatever. That they weren't wrong for that. I'm saying to me, I don't think it makes them an evil person.
Okay, yeah,
That's just me.
and that's fine. I think they're pure evil because you got to look at like when you take that step, whether it's in front of God, in a court, you elope or whatever, like you are swearing. Like people don't know how to be husbands and wives, and they talking about they want to get married. You got to know how to be
Mm-hmm.
that first.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're taking that sworn oath, whether it's in front of God, the judge, elope, whatever, right? You as the man is promising to provide and protect. You know what I'm saying? You as the woman is like, it might not be verbatim, promising to like be loyal, supportive, and stuff of that nature. So y'all violating that, in that regard. And we don't even have to say marriage. This can be
I was
basic
gonna ask.
modern boyfriend and girlfriend. You're doing the same thing. For a man to have to do that to her, it's looking at it like, yo, like I put my life in your hands. That's what women do when they submit to guys. I'm putting my life in your hands. Now, for the woman to do what she did, like she's violating on so many aspects. Like, how are you even a girlfriend? Like, how can I trust you in that regard? You got no loyalty.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supportive. Like, we could have talked about it or whatever it is. See what we could do. Maybe if you cheated physically, maybe we could spice some shit up in the bedroom, take a trip, different scenery, brings out different emotions or whatever. We can make it work. Right? You maybe you want to wear a wig. Let's role play. Maybe that will work. Bring some toys. Like what is it? So I'm looking at it as like those people are shaped based off their mentality. Those actions dictate who they are. So I look at them as pure evil, both of them. The different levels, obviously, because now it's like with her, it's like worse. But when you look at you could look at a woman's perspective too and be like, listen, well, when she does that, she could fucking affect the family, especially if they have kids. That could be broken up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if it's really good there? It's common for women to build with the side dude. Nah, guys, I'm just gonna keep accumulating. You think I'm gonna leave my wife? You crazy? We got 3 kids, businesses, cars, and all that. I pay for that shit. Why are you crazy? You know what it was getting in here. Think I'm gonna leave my wife of blah 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 years and keep dreaming? They'll lie to him and say yeah, but it's common for the women to be like, "Oh yeah, can't have 2, 3 guys. You're not doing the right thing, and he got his shit together, and I got my money. I'm gonna build with the side dude." So what if it's good there? Because we know men dominate women. 98% of them, especially in there. She's not dominating him. Maybe that's the only way that that's able to be sustainable where she comes home and it's just like normal. She's still submissive there and stuff like that. But if he's dominating her, she gonna build emotions there. I swear to God. Because women respect dominance in whatever fashion, especially sexual. So you gotta understand if she getting dominated there and clearly he's not, that's gonna be on a path to disaster for the whole family. So it's pure evil on both ends because like you gotta dissect it and look more in depth. It's not my perspective, not just the action. Like it's who they are. Can they be rehabilitated? Yeah, they can. You know, takes a lot of education, healing, for them to actually look internally, see the error of their ways, forgive that person. Maybe ask that person for forgiveness too. That's needed for closure.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I think we don't do that enough. Like I forgive my exes, or I forgive that place, or I forgive my friends. They fucked me over, whatever. Like we don't do that enough. You don't even need to see them. You could talk to your ancestors and speak it out loud. Cause I feel like that keeps you in like invisible like shackles.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we kind of look at the perspective of both like villain and evil, um, and then based off like statistics and genders, who's gravitating towards more, what's more desirable, what isn't, what really is it too? Is this really pure evil? Is it not? Is it just actions? Is it also character? Are actions and character, do they correlate? Like if I say I'm a man of my word, you know my character.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not, you also know my character.
That's true.
If I beat my wife to the brink of death, you know my character. And it's subjective. You could say that whatever it is, bitch, simp, feminine, beta, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know my character, but it's subjective with everybody. You know, it's definitely not divine. You know, so final thoughts. First and foremost, I want to thank you for, coming by.
Thank you for having me.
I have this thing where I dominate the conversation. So sometimes guess, they say what it is, but that's why I like to go last. Talk a lot. I'll go first and talk for like 20 minutes and then y'all forget what y'all got.
I told you I'm used to you.
She's like, I've been here, done that, buddy.
Yeah, do you have any final thoughts?
No, great show. Amazing. Good topic.
My final thoughts. Thank you again for coming. It's always
Thank
fun
you.
to have you. I love the perspectives that you bring. And as far as the topic, why are male horror villains considered seductive and romanticized, and female villains considered pure evil? I'm gonna, double down on what I said in the beginning. The male horror villains need, to be seductive and try to persuade to they have to be that way to kind of have the woman go against her intuition so that he can get whatever it is that he wants to do. Bite her neck, make her become a vampire, whatever it is. Whatever it is. And a female a female villain is considered pure evil because, like I said it in the beginning, it goes against our nature to be evil and cruel and harmful to others, especially if they're innocent and young. That it goes so against what we are that's why they're considered pure evil.
So I think that why are male villains considered seductive or viewed as seductive and romanticized? I think especially by women, cause there's a dopamine to danger for a lot of women. It's scary. It's kind of like counterintuitive, but it's true. Like kind of women get aroused to being scared, as crazy
It's
as that
true.
sounds.
I love scary movies. It's true. I just saw a scary movie.
So I think that they kind of that fear and like curiosity now triggers desire. And that's what it is. Like if you never experience it and all you hear from your friends, stay away from him, he's bad news, you're kind of like the kid touching the light bulb and the parent is like, how many times I told you don't touch that, it's hot. You're gonna try to do it when they're not around to see what it is. I want to feel it. I want to see if what he's saying is right. So I think that curiosity, like, let me see if everybody's saying they're right about him, but it's also that intrinsic feeling for women of that danger, and they link that with arousal, like sexual arousal,
Mm-hmm.
emotional arousal, psychological arousal. Like, some of them might think it's fun. Girls and women always want to have fun, and that could be subjective in different things and whatever. So I think that that's why it's more romanticized, because boring is not something that make women, you know, be like, wow. Whereas, like, when you look at women being pure evil, that's a red flag, and it's not like adored or valued by most people, especially men. We're talking about like men, like not Sims or beta or male. Some people say they count too. But men, like, I could say myself, I wouldn't look at, even if she was gorgeous, prettiest woman I've ever seen in the world, and she's pure evil. I'm not going to say I want to be next. I want
Mm.
her to submit to me. I'm going to pursue her. You know what I'm saying? So I think that for women, they're willing to put themselves at risk. It's common. It's easier, right? Women
Mm-hmm.
submit, men don't. It's just easier for women to just put themselves out there to kind of let me find out. Sometimes I want to fuck around and find out. You fuck around and find out, you're like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it comes down to. I think that's why it's the way it is, you know.
I agree. This was a good show.
It was.
Yeah. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to one of the most raw, thought-provoking, uncut, no holds barred, conversation stimulating, um, unheralded but soon to be heralded Discipline Therapy podcast.
Peace.
Peace.